Hi everybody. Today we are not going to be talking about the top whatever number gadgets of whatever year or the must-have essentials or any of that other clickbaity stuff. What we're going to be talking about are the gadgets that Shelly and I and Talon like to have in our RV, whether it be going down the road or when we're at our campsite. And since I'm sitting in the driver's seat of our Tiffin Class A motorhome, we're going to start up front. So the first thing is also one of our most recent additions, and that's going to be our GPS. So the Tiffin has a Kenwood radio with a Garmin GPS built into it. Ours stopped working a few months ago, and instead of spending over $1,000 to buy a replacement, in addition to the $150 a year for Garmin map updates, I went with a much more elegant, in my mind, solution, and we have a video on that. And again, there's going to be videos to a lot of this stuff, and links to all the products is going to be in the description below. So if you want to purchase any of the products, please click on one of those links. We do earn a small commission from Amazon for each one of those purchases, and that helps us help small local veterans charities that we encounter in our travels. Instead of spending that $1,000, I replaced the radio with a $140 Android radio. A lot of you may not be familiar with what an Android radio is, and it's basically an Android-based tablet in the form of a radio. So it fits in a double DIN, which is the really tall radio slots, and it can go in any vehicle that has a double DIN opening, which is most vehicles nowadays. And well, of course, they also make single DIN, which is the small, short ones as well. So this radio is a full-featured Android tablet, but it also has a radio. So it has a regular radio, AM/FM radio, just like the Kenwood radio did. But since this is an Android tablet, it uses all the apps that Android uses. So one of the apps on here is the Copilot app, which is what we use along with a lot of other people use for navigation. So instead of just having it on my phone, I have it on this tablet, so it's on the big screen here. And as you can see, we're putting images up there of this device, and you can see the full install video, link in the description below, like I said earlier. So that works great, but one thing it needs is Wi-Fi. It does need to have a good internet source for it to work properly. Now, the Copilot app, you can download the maps once a week, so you can use it offline. But by having Wi-Fi connect to it, that means you can play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, whatever music source you want, in addition to having the radio. And that's nice too, because you don't need to hook up your phone either through a cable or Bluetooth connection or any of that stuff. Matter of fact, you don't need a phone at all, but you do need Wi-Fi. And we're going to have a separate video coming out next week on all of our Wi-Fi updates. We've done quite a few Wi-Fi videos, and we've made some significant changes to our Wi-Fi setup from our last video from a few months ago. So next week will be the video talking in depth about our Wi-Fi. But in case you didn't notice from the beginning of this video, we are using Nomad Internet, and there's a link in the description below for Nomad Internet. And if you do click on that link and sign up, you get $25 off your first month of truly unlimited, unthrottled internet. Other thing that we find is really a necessity is a tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS. Now we have a separate video on that as well. That's also linked in the description below. We use the EEZ TPMS. It works great, and you're going to see a picture of it right up here as well too, where it sits in our setup. Now the nice thing about this is we have it on all of our tires. That includes the 4 tires on our Chevy Equinox that we tow behind our RV, so we can monitor them all here. The EEZ TPMS, and as you can see from that picture up here, also, I have it mounted on the window with the included suction cup bracket. It has a lot of other mounting options, but this is the one that works for us. Now the next gadget we have while we're setting up front is a dash cam, and I highly recommend everybody have a dash cam, because it could protect you legally in the event of an accident, because that dash cam does record everything inside and out while it's on. So in the event of an accident that's at someone else's fault, you have video evidence that it wasn't your fault. So the next thing is I also run Google Maps or Waze on my phone as I travel down the road. Typically what I do is I put our final destination in the Copilot app on the radio, and then I use my phone for any stops along the way, like gas stations or sites that we're going to stop at and film or whatever. So I'll put that on my phone. And in the past, I put my phone on, I've tried a lot of different suction cup mounts on the window here, and they all seem to fall off, and they all seem to fall off only driving down the road. I put a suction cup mount on here, and it's set for a week while we were stationary, and as soon as we get on an interstate, it falls off and will not reattach. So I've given up on suction cup mounts for a phone, and I went with this mount that you see up here, and it's mounts right on the dash. It's just a clip, so it's not drilling any holes or anything like that. And the nice thing about it too, as you can see from the video, is it's real easy to attach the phone. And you can turn it in many different ways, both left and right and up and down, so you can get the right angle for it. And it's not obstructive at all. I mean, I can see it as I'm driving, but it's not distracting in any way, shape, or form. Now, a couple of the other things that are really important for us too, driving down the road, is, well, we need to have some dancing miniatures. So you can see here we've got the little baby Yoda, or Grogu, as he's called, and his buddy. We haven't named him yet. Got a good name for us? Leave a note in the description. One thing that I highly recommend if you're going to be traveling in warmer climates is a cooling seat. They make a world of difference, especially if you're going to be sitting in the saddle for a while. And that's what we got right here. And I'll show you a better picture of that up here. This particular model has a multi-speed fan. It just has a dial. You can just twist the dial to wherever you want. And it blows cold air on your back and backside. So it keeps things comfortable, shall we say. So we also need a way to power this seat and keep my phone charged going down the road, and also run the dash cam. Now, the dash cam could have been hardwired in, but I chose not to. And the reason why is just because of my knee and mobility issues. It was difficult to crawl under the dash, so I came up with a little bit different solution. I have, as you can see up here, I went and bought a 3-plug adapter for 12-volt outlets, and each one of these spots has a switch on it, so I can turn each one of them off and on individually. It also has a USB port on the side, so I can plug in my phone just straight to the USB port. So I hardwired this in, but I didn't hardwire it in by cutting off the connector and splicing the wires. I actually added another cigarette lighter adapter, so I could easily plug and unplug this. So if it did break or I wanted to change it out with something else, I could easily do that. And it's just as simple as plugging it in or unplugging it. The 3-outlet adapter is connected to the bottom of the dash using good old-fashioned command strips. So they're easy to remove without damaging anything. So that makes it easy for me to run the electronics up here. So I have a spare connector here, so I can always add one more 12-volt device to this outlet here with no issues. Right now I don't know what that would be, but if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear. Leave me a note in the comments below. So what happens when we get to the campsite brings us to my next favorite gadget, which is a must for everybody out there. And as you can see from the pictures here, I have two. I have purchased a couple of levels that most people put on the outside of their RVs. I put them on the inside right here on the dash. I did this on our previous RV as well. I've got one that can check my left to right level, and I've got the other one set up to do my front to back level. So when I pull up to a campsite, I can quickly check these and see if I'm level or not, if I need to put blocks on one side or the other or whatever. But I highly recommend those for anybody in a drivable RV, because with having it sitting right here at the seat, I don't have to get out and go get a level and double check. Now granted, since these are so small, and they're not going to give you the perfect level, but these can get you in the ballpark. So those are the gadgets we like up front. So what are some of the other gadgets we have in here that we really enjoy? Let's go take a look. The next gadget that I really like is right here. This is a weather station. It's a cheap weather station, and I bought it at Lowe's. And the sensor for it, I have tie strapped to the back bumper. So the temperature reading of 64 degrees right now, that's what it's like on the back bumper of this RV. So it's always in the shade, almost always in the shade. So it'll give me a fairly accurate reading. So that's the other gadget we really like. So one more gadget that we love is this guy right here. This is a Ring doorbell. Now, one of our first videos we did over a year ago on this channel was about this Ring doorbell. There's a link to this in the description below. There's also a link to this specific product below. This is awesome because it provides motion detecting, and it's actually kind of going off right now, so I'm going to set it down. The Ring doorbell gives us a security camera view outside of our door. It gives us alerts on our phone and Amazon devices when it detects motion or when it detects people. And it also records that footage. So if something does happen, if we are the victim of some sort of vandalization or something like that, we have video evidence we can provide the police. So highly recommend the Ring doorbell. Why isn't it hooked up right now? Well, we just got to this campground and we're getting ready to leave it. So I don't leave it on the door when we travel. I don't want it to fly off. Super easy install. Not even a real easy install. It's a super easy and quick install for the Ring doorbell. Highly recommend that as well. So I'm in the living room now. Another gadget we really like, Amazon Show. I know a lot of people have thoughts and opinions on having these personal assistant devices, voice activated devices in their RVs and homes. So I'm not going to make any comments either way about that. Obviously, you know my opinion on those because I have one in here. We also have a Echo Dot in the bedroom as well. So nice thing about these Amazon devices as well, if you have the Google equivalent, is you can check weather, check time, set alarms. They're just very convenient. The other thing that helps with us, because we have these Amazon devices, is our security cameras that we use. We have the Blink security cameras, and they work directly with the Amazon Alexa. Didn't turn on. And everything's integrated. Another nice feature about having that device, gives us an option as I walk around over here, have a seat on the couch. Right behind me here, this little white box, that's a smart outlet. And I can tell my Amazon device over here to turn off and on this outlet. We have these set up all over the RV. Our WeBoost, which we have a video on as well, our WeBoost actually has one of these connected to it as well, so I can turn the WeBoost off and on remotely because our WeBoost is in the basement outside. So I don't have to go outside to turn the WeBoost off if I need to turn it off for whatever reason. So these things are really handy. They're inexpensive. And again, links to all these products are in the description below. And I hate to get off the couch because it's so comfortable. But one of the other nice gadgets that we like is right here. It's not this picture frame that we received as a gift, but it's not moving. And it's not moving because we use museum putty. That stuff is absolutely amazing. I know a lot of RVers swear by it. All this stuff here is basically nailed down with museum putty, but it comes off easier than a command strip. So if you're used to using command strips for stuff on the walls, museum putty is just as awesome, if not better, for stuff you're going to lay on a counter. It will hold stuff rock solid. The other gadget, this is going to be specific to Tiffins that use the spider control system. And what that is, I'm going to open this compartment up right here. You'll see this long orange cord here plugged into this jack, and this box right here that says Vega Touch. That system allows me to remotely control a lot of the features in this RV. And I say remotely, either via Bluetooth, which is kind of semi-remote, or over Wi-Fi. You're going to see a screenshot up here of it. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because it is specific to Tiffins that have that spider control panel. what it does. I mean, I can control all the lights individually or collectively. I can control the heating and air conditioning, and I can check the levels on all the black, gray tank, freshwater tank, and the propane tank. And I can also control 3 of the 4 slides. So these are some of our favorite gadgets that we have for inside the RV. What are some of the gadgets you like and that you use in your RV? Leave us a note in the comments below. Let us know what you think of the gadgets we've mentioned, what your opinions are on some of your must-have gadgets for your RV, because we're all different. We all have different wants, needs, desires, and we all have different RVs. If you have a drivable RV, then some of the gadgets you'll want will be different than those who have a towable RV. So please let us know in the comments below some of your favorite gadgets and gizmos and doodads, whatever you want to call them, for your particular RV setup. Also tell us why. We'd love to hear the why part as well. So as always, guys, we thank you so much for watching. If you want to help us help small local veterans charities, consider either clicking the applause button below and donating to us through that way, or become a member of our page on YouTube. Join buttons down below as well, or join our Patreon page. Links in the description below. A portion of money from each of the Patreon and YouTube membership goes to support a local veterans charity. 100% of the money you give through clicking on that applause button will go to a local veterans charity as well. And we pick local veterans charities because those are the ones who are usually in the most financial need and also do the most good in your communities. So we stick with the local veterans charities. So thank you guys so much for watching. Also consider giving us a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment below, share it out with your friends. So till next time, fellow adventure seekers, we'll see you at our next adventure.